Welcome to Flat Earth Debate Live. I'm your host Nathan Oakley, and if you are new to this channel or you've not done so already, then be sure to subscribe, hit the bell notification icon and join button if you'd like to become a Nathan Oakley 1980 channel member and keep up to date with the Flat Earth Debate. If you would like to support the channel, there is a super chat that runs alongside each of these shows while they premiere, and there's also a PayPal, Patreon and crypto link in the info box below the video. Most importantly, if you'd like to join the discussion, simply mute the page you are currently watching, then click the link in the info box below this video to join the panel and express your views on the nature of Earth. If you do join, please don't swear. If you do, you'll be ejected, and if you are, please don't try to rejoin the stream using sock accounts. You'll be warmly welcome back on the next stream. Please also share the show on social media. Sharing the show obviously increases the live audience, but this in turn increases the chances of a more diverse panel, so please share the show on Facebook and Twitter. One last time, if you're new to the channel or you've not done so already, then be sure to subscribe, hit the bell notification icon and join button to keep up to date with the Flat Earth Debate. Now we are joined by 10th Man, Flatzoid, Neil, and a whole bunch of people in Discord, so welcome one and all.
Happy Friday, everybody.
Hello.
Morning.
Good morning, good morning. Good morning on a Friday, good afternoon on a Friday, or if you're watching this on a re-up with the Uncut and After Show, happy Sunday. Any evidence of a physical geometric sphere edge horizon formerly known as Earth curvature?
Well, as of yesterday, Tim Osman, nobody claims the Earth curve is the horizon.
Yeah, most of the Western world claim it's the horizon, but obviously given that Tim is slowly starting to appreciate the gravitas of the black swan, Modus Toland's argument, debunking the physical nature of a horizon reified into an edge of a sphere that can block boats and buildings. Yeah, once you appreciate the magnitude of that black swan, you would declare that nobody's claiming Earth curves the horizon, whilst literally presenting a picture with comparisons of horizons that are claimed to be blocking boats and buildings. Amazing.
Wonderful.
Indeed. That'll definitely get trimmed out. If you're a member, you've probably seen it already, but if you're not a member, that'll come out on tomorrow, so Saturday, if you're watching this live. If you're watching this on Sunday, it came out yesterday, because that all makes sense. Any evidence of axial rotation of the Earth-based variety?
No, they don't have that one either, of the Earth-based variety, but we do see the sun move at 15 degrees an hour.
No further comment on axial rotation? Everyone's off mute in Discord. Any evidence of the distance to the sun?
Anybody?
What is the sun?
I don't know. Good question. Any scientific evidence of gravity?
None whatsoever. It's a reification. They see something, someone picks up and drops, call it gravity. They see, like in the famous Newtonian apple falling, when the stem dries up and falls, they call that gravity. But relative density disequilibrium solves it too. So which one is it?
Right, it's not a false dichotomy.
Well, when they're trying to push their
Hey, Owen.
Hey, Harman. When they're trying to push their sphere, they need spinning and rotation, the 15 degree that they don't have. And then they need a force to keep the water on the sphere, which is the force they made up called gravity.
Got Flatzoid sending me something. Is this screen grab with Mr. Sensible's happy face something relevant to this, Flatzoid? When you're making a lot of background noise. You there, Flatzoid? We'll come back to it. I don't know if it's relevant to this housekeeping question. Big shout out to both Witsit Gets It and Brian's Logic, together with the channel moderator in this instance, which was Quantum Eraser. So be here or be sphere and check out Quantum Eraser hosting Brian's Logic versus Witsit Gets It in their discussion about what we're going to call a claim of bias in a downward direction on Whitsit's side. I don't know which was being punted as the positive assertion, but that's the way I read it. And Brian, not really refuting it, because he's describing something that isn't validating a cause of it. It's just describing something in the way it is, which would be relative density disequilibrium if you force something out of equilibrium, like a BB that you put in a vacuum and then drop it, for example. Anyway, that was an absolutely epic point in this particular discussion. So you've got two differing flat earthers who, for the most part, share the same views, but have a fundamental difference in terms of why things that are pushed out of equilibrium go down when you drop them, unless, of course, they're less dense than the medium. Anyway? Unless, of course, they're less dense than the medium, in which case they'd go up like gas.
Right. I have some comment about that. Quick.
Hold on.
I was there.
Hold on, Owen. Hold on, Owen. I think Neil was trying to get a word in before, and then you can go after Neil if that's okay.
I was just asking how it went. How did that go? I missed it.
It went very well. It was, for the most part, very cordial, but Arwin had some issues in the chat which I didn't look at. Go ahead, Arwin.
Yeah, I'm not going to mention about the chat, but what I did very well notice is that, and I was kind of disappointed about QE on that part, that which it gets it asserted that magnetics has an influence on gases. And that was supposedly demonstrated. Now, that demonstration completely failed to prove that point by it only showing that the actual liquid, as in oxygen in liquid form, was influenced by the magnetics, but that was not the question. So the actual statement that was made is that gases are influenced by magnetics, which physics does not support that statement, and the demonstration did not demonstrate this, yet it was glanced over multiple times after that and just asserted as a fact.
Hold on,
and I was really disappointed about that. That's pretty much it.
Well, I'm confused.
QE playing favorites?
Hold on. I'm a bit confused. I'm not, because I heard your show today. So I know where this is going. But you're saying that was an issue for QE? Why would you assert that that's QE's problem when he was the moderator of a formal debate?
Well, because isn't a moderator supposed to point out you are asserting this, but you have not provided evidence?
No, that's down to the person who's arguing their point to highlight if there's a lack of evidence. Not the moderator's job.
Okay.
So that was Brian. So no, that's not QE's failing. Sorry, Brian. That's Brian's failing.
Okay. Well, Brian did point it out, by the way. He pointed out several times, but it was just continually glanced over. Maybe it's just that I'm not used to this QE not yelling at people when they get something really wrong. It's just I can't get used to this.
Well, in defense of QE, he started the debate by saying he was not going to take sides or interrupt. He was going to let them go. He would only step in if he had to. So he did his part perfect, too.
I was going to say, I could not floor QE at all. Not one bit. He did an absolutely perfect job of moderating that discussion.
But I will back up Brian, because he did address it, as Arwin said, and it was glanced over. And like I said in the pre-show, Brian could have won the debate hands down right away by objecting to everything.
You can make up your own mind, having watched it for yourself on the Quantum Eraser YouTube channel.
All right, I'll hold it.
No, I mean, we did discuss it a little bit on the pre-show, and, for me, it's a win for us as a community that we can do that at all. Disagree off and on topic, and debate the opponents, and progress the thoughts and feelings about these things that we're all really interested in. Well, that needs discussion. I'm really excited for it, and to be honest, I don't care who won or lost. It's not really that important.
It's not about winning or losing, actually. I congratulated both debaters at the end. I enjoyed it thoroughly. It's about having a proper understanding of what a natural phenomena is and what a scientific method is to realize cause and effect.
But just in the interest of balance, Whitsit, I'm going to send someone around your house. You deserve to lose your job. You're a scumbag. Just to give it baller kind of balance,
No, we're not that way, but that was a good one.
Did that ether come up at all?
I don't think so.
No, no one said the word ether the whole time.
Amazing.
But look, there's the last 3 days where I live, everything I touch, I get a spark. Electricity's everywhere. But the previous 6 months, none. So it's weather related. It's drying up. We had high winds. I don't know all the details about why sometimes there's a lot of static electricity everywhere and sometimes there's none, or most of the times there's none. But I'm not arguing that exists. But the way it was going, you need to demonstrate it as a force on gas.
We could figure it out. We could become like Emperor Palpatine.
Okay.
And make money by charging them.
Oh God! Oh my God!
Come on, that was a great scene when he's got the electricity going.
Yeah, it's really cute. So can we talk about reality again?
Yeah, go on, Aaron.
Star Wars is not reality? What?
Let's expand the net then. Any single viable hypothesis from any of the fields of astronomy, cosmology, or astrophysics?
Just observation of something and then the failed hypothesis that never shows up.
Very quiet in Discord. Anybody got wind of any claim to be science?
No, don't be silly.
Really? There was some yesterday. We just discussed it. Hint, hint. No one going to twig on that? Okay, well, yesterday's show, the flaw that I found was that science was being asserted based on natural phenomena that didn't exist. So, no, and nobody. Okay, fine.
I caught it.
There's plenty of phenomena that's asserted in those fields, but in yesterday's discussion, there's an assertion that there's a natural phenomena occurring when you take a BB and put it into a vacuum and watch it drop at a given rate of acceleration. Well, that's not a natural phenomena.
I posted that in chat. That was the first thing I picked up.
Right. Unfortunately, the problem with that assertion is that it's kind of like gas go down, go boom, boom, like bouncy balls poured into a fish tank when you get to the gas with its elastic collisions. It's a shame they're on our side. Anyway, they've got plenty of phenomena. Flat Earthers aside, the astronomers, cosmologists, and astrophysicists have got plenty of phenomena to be going along with, right? Actual phenomenon. Things that they could establish cause by scientific experimentation.
Adam's on the show, and I don't want to bait him, but he left a really nice remark on yesterday's chat. I have to go get it, but maybe he can comment if he wants to.
Afternoon. I don't know what you're on about though, Tom.
Well, you, Arwen and I were hitting chat with things, and then you came in with this little paragraph, and it was so eloquent. Arwen even said that was really good, and I said, "Yeah, it was." You remember
talking about last night?
Indeed.
Yeah.
Yeah, you summed it up great.
Oh, it was the magnet and the gas, or the vapor phase. Yeah, I thought I was just trying to summarize what Brian I thought did an amazing job last night. His knowledge was absolutely outstanding. The level of depth. So yeah, I was just kind of summarizing that if we're going to have a demonstration of gas behavior, then we can't have the demonstration showing liquid behavior. The two aren't commensurate with each other. So one doesn't demonstrate the other. It was a great display of how magnetic fields can affect liquid behavior. But how you can then draw any inference from something that, as Brian rightly said, but when turns into the gas and it starts exhibiting gas behavior, it's no longer visible. All you're seeing is the effect of the vapor and liquid at that phase transition stage. You can determine that somehow it's affecting that state of matter, but how you can draw an inference with regards to something that you can't see, my suggestion would be that at the point of phase transition where it's no longer visible, off it goes and it starts behaving as we would expect, having free movement in all directions, unlike the way the liquid was quite clearly being affected by the field.
And as eloquent as that was, Adam, can I point out that that was pretty much a paraphrasing of what Brian said? And I totally agree. His knowledge was excellent. When he got to the gravimeter, and he's like, well, I don't really know much about it. And I thought, yeah, neither do I. But then he detailed it. I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah. And with regards to, and that was the you want to award winner, but to me, that was Witzit's best demonstration. And Brian's knowledge with regards to the fourth state, it being plasma and it not being applicable to what Witzit was trying to analogize it with. I just thought it was that level of knowledge that Brian had that pulled that back to science, that bit for me. And
he's been a great tutor to me in terms of other subjects, not necessarily that one, but Brian's knowledge is great. I'm subscribed to Brian's logic. He's awesome. Don't let him being Spanish.
Really enjoyable debate, though, to sit and listen to it. And I wasn't doing much in chat because I was just sat there really enjoying the two chat, and it was done with great respect for each other. They were getting there was a little bit in the middle over the accelerometers where I think they weren't addressing each other's points a little bit, and it got a little bit, but there was at least respect for each other, which is something I've not seen in debate.
That said, there was QE.
Like that.
Well, there was plenty of times they were both trying to talk over each other, and QE just took charge. So you don't know how things could have gone if it wasn't QE in charge. But no, I agree. They were generally very civil with each other, and there wasn't very much "you just don't understand." There was a bit of going round and round in circles. And to be perfectly honest, because I watched it after it went out live, when that started happening, I just scrubbed through until I heard QE going, right, I can hear us going round in circles, and I kind of picked up from there. It was great. Let's move on. Any evidence of a self-perpetuating molten iron core at the centre of a presupposed spherical Earth?
That just sounds dumb.
Yeah, it does.
No, there's not any evidence of that.
Hey, Elijah, by the way. Any ballers in chat? We're not going to grill you or demand evidence, but just because it's a Friday and why not? Any feelings about your position on the molten iron core? Do you hate the fact that it's claimed?
Nathan hasn't cut his hands, so he's calm today. It's safe to come in.
No, I have cut my hand. I can just see it now because it hasn't got plaster on, and I can also see where I smacked my nose into something because it's got a great big scab on it. And it hurts.
But we've got volcanoes, Nathan. Surely that proves that we've got a molten iron core.
No, not even in the heliocentric rhetoric, Darren. No. But is there any ballers in chat that just want to share with us their considerations in regards to the molten iron core? Are there actually any ballers in here? No one willing to say yes, even if there is. Okay, well, no one's willing to step forward and say, yeah, I really like the fact that they claim there's a molten iron core, even though there's no evidence for it. But it is absolutely absurd, given that it has so little evidence to support it. About any other flat earthers that want to express their views on the molten iron core other than Arwin, who thinks it's ludicrous, as do I.
I can't disagree with that assessment.
What about
No one ever
volcanoes?
tries to argue from that point, so I don't really have anything on it.
Fair enough.
What
Jedward.
molten iron core?
Jedward, go ahead. Jedward.
Yeah, what about volcanoes?
What about him?
Well, where does the lava come from?
I don't know. Not the molten iron
Not from a
core.
molten iron core,
Right,
is it?
it is from the molten iron core, though, isn't it?
Is it? Says who?
Well, yeah, because scientists have proved it.
Hold up. So hot rock comes out of a molten iron core. How does that happen?
Hey, just let's round this out. No, not even in the heliocentric rhetoric does the lava that spews out of a volcano come from the centre of Earth. It comes from,
Where does it come from?
according to their rhetoric, it comes from tectonic activity at the Ring of Fire because of the plates rubbing together.
Where's the Ring of Fire?
Just look it up on a map. Just Google search Ring of Fire.
And it's not from there.
It's a geographic location. It's just lots of places on the face of the terrain we dwell atop that have volcanoes, and depending on how you map them, there's a ring of them. But the point is that they're located, according to them, on these boundaries, these plates, where they meet. Well, that friction, according to them, leaves you with hot spots that melt rock and cause volcanic activity. But it's sod all to do with the molten iron core, even in heliocentric rhetoric. Now that I don't claim that. For anybody like Simon Dan who wants to come along and debunk my claim that we have this volcanic... No, I don't claim that. That's just the bullshit they tell us. Okay? Just for clarity. So even in the heliocentric model, the point I'm making is no, volcanoes have nothing to do with the molten iron core. At all.
Well, what I'm going to do is I'm going to have a look at what you said, and then I'll base my opinion off of that.
All right. Thanks for that. As opposed to your opinion that they were coming from the molten iron core, which was based on scientists saying it. Can you cite that? Because I'd like to assess that, which you're already basing your opinion on. Can you cite the scientists that say volcanoes come from a molten iron core, please, given that that's what you've claimed? Jedward.
Right. Yeah, so from what I've seen, volcanic eruptions are from when, obviously, when the tectonic plate move, it causes the magma underneath the Earth to come out of the volcano. Now, I'm basing that off scientists' point of view, but obviously I respect your point of view that there's the Ring of Fire.
Well, he asked for a citation from your scientist's point of view. Do you have one to offer?
Not at this moment in time, no, I'm afraid.
Okay.
Not really. So where did you get that idea from? So did you just make that up then?
Well, I've always known it from school.
No, I don't need you to tell me what you know. We asked you to cite it.
Well, no, I'm like I'm saying, I got my knowledge from school.
From school?
Oh yeah, when I was at school a long time ago. That's what we learned about.
Okay. How long ago was it?
Quick question, Nathan, just for the
fine.
gen. Obviously, the molten iron core is at the centre of this supposed ball, which has got an R value of 3,000 odd miles. So, how deep do you think magma chambers are? Are they closer to the surface or closer to this molten iron core?
Well, it's kind of in the middle.
No, not in the
It's
side.
about
So
halfway.
your magma chambers are about 10 to 20 kilometers deep, obviously deeper than we've been still, but they're put at that range. So very, very close to the surface. It's surface activity in their model. And as Nathan described to you, tectonic plate movement that generates the energy to energize the magma and create volcanoes.
Okay,
yeah?
so
But this is
be-
happening
below
at a
below
depth
the
of
below the
round
crust.
about 10 kilometers. So think about that, and then think about where your molten iron core is, and the 2,500 3,000 mile difference between where your molten iron core is and where your magma reserves are that would then create volcanoes.
Well, below the crust of the Earth is obviously the mantle, and then below that mantle, so the mantle is just the rock that the Earth, the crust sits on, and then below the mantle is the molten outer core. Now that's where the magma sits, and that's where, if there was to be an earthquake, that it would erupt. And then below the molten core is the solid inner core, which is kind of like the center of the Earth. Now, this is what I have been taught and brought up to learn. But obviously, I respect what you believe in, and so I'm just gonna listen to what you.
This isn't. We're not citing what we believe in. We're citing what the mainstream heliocentric rhetoric is. That's where I think our disagreement with you is. You're painting a model that's neither an alternative flat earthers or the mainstream science view. You seem to be citing what you remember from school, not maybe what you was even taught at school, but how you remember it.
Yeah, like I said, I'm just remembering what I was learnt at school.
That's fair enough.
I'm no scientist.
No, that's fair enough. That's fair enough. But you're under the impression that the lava comes from there. It doesn't. But moreover, what you've detailed in terms of how Earth is constructed, we're asking for evidence of that, though, not the detail of what you think it is based on what you were taught. We know we were taught it too, but we're saying, is there any evidence of that?
Nathan, when you first learned about the Earth structure, did you believe from that point that the Earth was flat, or did you believe that what they were saying was false?
Sorry, I don't understand your question.
Well, when you were first taught about the Earth's structure, did you from when you were taught it, did you believe that the Earth was flat at that point, or did you go along with what the people were saying?
You're asking if at some stage I was a heliocentrist like basically everyone else in the Western world. Yeah, of course.
Yes.
That's what I was being taught. Okay, but that doesn't change my question, which you've avoided by a segue. So the core and the mantle and all of those layers that you described, down to what they say is a solid core inside the molten iron core, right? That's what you've just described. We ask for any hello. We ask for any evidence of that. Hello. What we ask is there any evidence of that? Not just you asserting it like it's true and saying, well, I was taught it by scientists at school who I can't quite remember what they told me. So,
yeah, okay, so obviously there is no physical evidence of what's inside the Earth because we don't have the resources, neither the equipment. I'm just basing what I'm saying off scientists. But my question is to you, do you have any physical evidence that what you're saying is true?
Which is what? What am I saying about lava or molten iron cores? I don't. I'm not making... Mate, you're going to struggle if every time I talk, you immediately start talking through me. Just stop talking when you've asked a question. Right? The problem is that I'm not making a claim. And initially, you were under the impression that I was describing how the molten iron core works. And this is, it seems, a problem with globers. They don't understand what the globe actually claims. Now, I'm not moaning at you. It's just you're no different to anybody. And based on your perception of what you were told at school and your belief that science has proved this, you keep reasserting that scientists have proven this because you misremembered something at school. Well, no, there isn't any science for it. And if you say there's no physical evidence of it, how can you be asserting that scientists say it? Well, I don't care. Science is a method as opposed to a man saying something. The point is, we're asking for evidence of it, and you're saying what have you got for what you believe? But in this regard, specifically the Molten Iron core, I'm not making any claim about it to express a belief to justify. But you do believe there's a Molten Iron core, so much so that you're telling us about mantles and solid centers and right. So you do believe this in spite of there being no physical evidence. But in pointing that out, you just want to move on to what I believe immediately. Your belief, Molten Iron core, mate.
Right. Well, okay. There's no evidence that what I've described is true. I am basing it off scientists, like I said.
Which scientists? Okay,
then
yeah,
again,
thank you. You don't need it repeating for a fifth time.
But
So if you're going to repeat it
I'm
for a
not
fifth time,
repeating it,
if you're going to
but
repeat it
then-
for a fifth time, I need you to actually give us
Nathan,
the scientists. Hello, I run the show, Jedward.
Nathan.
Jedward, I'm in charge, not you. So when I talk and
fair
interrupt you, you're going to tolerate it or get lost. That's the way it works here. So when you repeat for the fifth time that scientists say, I want to know which ones with citation. Because at the moment, with your mic wide open and your background noise interrupting me, mute, mate, mute. Thank you.
Sorry about that.
That's all right.
Just do it in a pub or what?
And you, Neil. With your declaration for the fifth time that scientists have said this, which is what you base your belief on, I need to see what they've said. Now, if you can't, then they haven't. You've just made it up, and it's annoying because you keep reasserting it and not backing it. That's frustrating, especially after you declare boldly, no physical evidence of it, but scientists say. Well, okay, let's see it. Let's see what the scientists have said.
Okay, well, I can't refer what I said to any scientist.
Why say it
Like,
then? So don't say it 5 straight times and then moan that I cut you off. Do you understand that? How annoying it is. Stop
okay,
talking.
fair enough, Nathan.
I'm telling you off politely. I'm trying to keep calm. Right, while you talk through me. Now, I've interrupted you because you've done it 5 times. Now you finally conceded, yeah, I can't back this crap I'm making up. Yeah, well, that's why you got cut off and then started bleating about the host of a show correcting you on your stuff you made up and reiterated 5 times. Irritating. Just accept you've got a religious belief in something with no physical evidence. I don't care about your belief in the scientists saying it either, because you've got nothing to back that. So it's just a fundy religious belief based on no physical evidence. End of statement. Don't need to know about your beliefs.
Okay, no, Nathan. So when you're saying that mine is a belief, do you have any evidence for your claim of the Ring of Fire?
What do I claim?
True? Now,
what do I claim?
Well, before you claimed that when a volcano erupts, it comes from the Ring of Fire or something.
No, you didn't listen. I made it explicitly clear that I am detailing that even in the heliocentric rhetoric, they don't claim it comes from the core. In the heliocentric rhetoric, not my claim. Why can't you listen?
Okay, well, I don't think this conversation is gonna develop anymore, so I'm just gonna mute and I'll let you carry on with the show.
Thank you for your participation. Trying to be nice, right? But we are trying to explain to you, and in this case, generally speaking, the audience, that we haven't got any claims about things like molten iron cores or Coriolis deviation or Earth curve horizons. When we detail them, we're detailing the rhetoric that the Western world adheres to so we can annihilate it. For example, having discussed what you thought, incorrectly, was my claim about the Ring of Fire, even though I peppered it with on maps and in the heliocentric model and not my claim, even though all those things were said, you still thought it was my claim that needed attacking. No, we point out that there is claimed to be, depending on how you map it, a ring based on the tectonic activity that I don't necessarily know is true and I don't claim. But we don't have any evidence beyond about 12 kilometres dug. So none of what they claim has any physical evidence in terms of the physical nature of what we stand on beyond 12k with an 8-inch diameter. That's how much we know. 8-inch diameter, 12k deep. That's it. That's what we know. Based on that, we can declare that we've got rings of fire and tectonic activity and solid cores that are surrounded by molten cores that are surrounded by solid cores that have got cracks and plates and they're moving. It's all nonsense. No physical evidence for anything. Just fundamentalist religious belief in what? Well, what scientists say. Not science. What men say, who call themselves science when science is a method. That's all that you, on the globe side, have got to back this molten iron claim. And it's utterly preposterous. I'm glad we dragged out the molten iron.
Even science debunks the molten iron claim.
It's not a phenomena. How are you going to prove the cause of it? What are you going to say? Oh, all right, okay, maybe I'll use volcanoes? Well, then you'll be establishing the cause of why a volcano erupts. Or the eruption itself. That's a phenomena. But is that going to validate a molten iron core scientifically? No, because it's not a phenomena.
No, Nathan, my point is you cannot have magnetism if it's past its current point, and that's scientifically proven. With science, it already debunks their model.
Yeah, it's in the question. It's self-perpetuating molten iron core, i.e. the inference being you can't have that. You've got to demonstrate that you can have that. Anyway, that comes with the Just So story of how it's just been slowing down over millennia, right?
Can I comment on what my take was here in the back and forth? Was exactly when we talk about the they. So at least he was honest enough to say scientists, then word got changed to, I remember in school, and then it came out to where it's like, well, look, I haven't found the citation, but this is what I was taught. So it's happened to all of us. We parrot what we hear from authority figures, and that's what school is designed to do. Is they're authority figures, they indoctrinate, and when you want to know why things work, they only allow you to go a certain amount of hand raisings until they get everybody thinking the same way. So here he is as a young man now, and he can't remember exactly where he's seen the proof, but he's going to parrot it.
Indeed. Hey, Chocolate.
Good morning, guys. How y'all doing?
Very well. Good to have you. Just while you're here on the mic, Chocolate.
Thank you very much.
Any evidence of the R value?
Axial.
I actually got something for this with Mr. Sensible.
Radius value?
Oh, no, and then...
We're talking about a radius value, right?
What is this radius? What is this?
What is this radius? Right,
What is this radius you speak of?
Right, joking aside.
That's what I was just going to say.
Hold on, everyone, hold on. Flatsoid's been lurking to do this moment for the last 20 minutes. Go ahead, Flatsoid.
I did. I think it's like 10 seconds long. I did post in master.
The lack of physical curve. I have shown physical curve. You have not demonstrated anything. The lack of physical curve. I have shown physical curve. You have not demonstrated anything.
Sorry. What physical curve? I thought it was an apparent curve.
Yeah.
I could have sworn you just said lack of physical curve.
He did. He literally double spoke in the same breath.
But that supposed curve, did he actually mean like the horizon obstructing things in geometry?
Yeah,
that curve?
He's justifying the problem that's already befell him with Mage. So what he needs is, like this picture, the horizon to be a physical, geometric sphere edge capable of blocking boats and buildings. So just to rattle off a few quotes, we wouldn't expect to see geometry plan a walk. The geometric horizon only exists in the maths. That'd be the rumpus. We wouldn't expect to see a geometric horizon. AB science. At best, you would have debunked the radius. That's Mr. Sensible, based on it being pointed out that we don't have a physical horizon. His response, Mr. Sensible's response, at best, you would have debunked the radius. End quote. So, the problem is their own side makes it absolutely crystal clear that the horizon is not physical and it is not geometric. Now, their globe Earth model is physical. They're asserting the horizon is Earth curve and that it can physically block things in the distance with its physicality, calculable in feet and inches or meters, based on how much it blocks stuff. So they require a physical geometric sphere edge horizon for their geometric sphere edge maths. But we've debunked it with the black swan. And then Mr. Sensible sent up a balloon to have a look at the physical geometric sphere edge horizon he doesn't have anymore. So he's saying, what non-physical horizon? I'll show you a physical horizon. Why? Because you say it is, in spite of us debunking it. That's not going to fly. Black swan.
Don't worry. Now posted one in the same video where he says it's not physical and explains an apparent horizon.
Is your horizon physical? Look, the horizon is not a physical place. You can't walk over to the horizon and stick a flag in it. All the horizon is a point, an apparent point beyond which you can't see. It's as simple as that. If you move forward, the horizon moves forward. Move back, the horizon moves back. Move higher, the horizon moves further away. Move lower, it moves closer towards you. It's not a difficult concept.
Oh, so it's not a physical geometric sphere edge horizon capable of blocking boats and buildings marked with an X label horizon in the geometric Earth curve maths that asserts that it is physically blocking boats and buildings. It's an apparent location, a non-physical, non-Earth curve horizon then, Mr. Sensible. Welcome to Flat Earth. We agree. The horizon's an apparent location. Definitely not physical. Definitely not Earth curve. Kudos, you clown.
You see why I was laughing?
Yeah,
it's
epic.
physical, but it's not physical.
I'll show you a physical horizon. 10 minutes later. How can you assert it's physical? It's non-physical. You move, it moves away. You get higher, it moves. Oh, right. Not physical, then. Why would you assert that it's got a physical nature that blocks boats and buildings into the distance as you lower your position for it to obscure them? Like Tim did yesterday when he showed boats and buildings claimed to be obscured by his assertion that the horizon's physically getting in the way with its geometry that's measurable in your Earth curve maths when you mark a horizon with an X and say it's physically got in the way. But no, right, Mr. Sensible's got it. He knows it's not going to be a physically obstructing Earth
curve edge. Is your horizon physical? Look, the horizon is not a physical place. You can't walk over to the horizon and stick a flag in it. All the horizon is a point, an apparent point beyond which you can't see. It's as simple as that.
Oh, right. An apparent point beyond which you can't see. So can apparent points beyond which you can't see obscure things with physicality? Because that's what your sphere edge does. In your sphere edge maths. And in your sphere edge maths, the horizon's a point. In reality, our horizon is a line that would span an open expanse from left to right or right to left. That's not a point. In your maths, it's a point, though, and it's also physical in your maths, and obscuring things with a feet and inches value you attribute to how much it's blocked stuff in the distance that you don't account for its angular size reduction. But that's a big problem when you need a physical horizon and you're making declarations that you don't have one. We know. Welcome to Flat Earth. That's why Mage isn't capable of declarations that you're looking at how bendy a non-physical location is. So what apparent? Appearing, but not actually. Well, how is Mage a proof of anything then? If the horizon's merely an apparent location, Mr. Sensible? Maybe that's why you haven't presented it us here. because you know you'd get annihilated within 10 seconds of even opening your mouth and claiming that you're seeing a non-physical location bend with altitude? Who cares? It's non-physical. It's just apparent, mate. But you'd need it to be physical if it was geometric, like your Earth curve maths asserts. It just isn't, we all know, and you're telling us on your own side. Like you are telling us how non-physical it is in this little clip here.
If you move forward, the horizon moves forward, move back.
Wow. Profound. Thanks, Flatzoid.
He just admit perspective.
Yeah, optical effects is what they're going to reach out for, not realising that geometry doesn't include that. In fact, it hijacks it. That's something else Flatzoid's been pointing out recently. As soon as they get annihilated on the fact that we don't have physical geometry, which is what their Earth curve assumption comes with, they immediately go to optics. It's like, your geometry doesn't include that, though. If it did, you'd have angular sizes changing with distance, whereas you ask us why there's 5 feet missing off a building, when 5 feet could be massively varied if you gave it in an angular size that changed with distance. But a 5-foot obstruction is going to be 5 foot if it's a million miles away. The foot value, or meters value, doesn't change with distance. And the effect of things getting too small to see, completely ignored in geometry, is suddenly the defence. No, it's actually our argument on the flat Earth side. And that's why we welcome you to Flat Earth when you're describing optical effects, because you don't have any in geometry. It's geometric. Any evidence that you can have gas pressure without the necessary antecedent of a container to press upon for all the fundies who believe the sky is a vacuum?
I don't know if you watched that piece of the podcast with Dr. Becky and Simon Dan, Conspiracy Cats. Apparently, the second law of thermodynamics is now a conspiracy theory. It's not science.
It's not science. Well, number one, no. Natural laws are merely describing the way things are. They're not validating the cause. That's what science does. So, yeah, well, we often say that too, Becky or whoever aired that. Yeah, no, it's not a scientific law, as they're sometimes called incorrectly, because it hasn't gone through the scientific method. It's not science. It's just a description. But that description holds true always, without exception. And if you're going to say the second law of thermodynamics, because of its lack of scientific empiricism, it's not asserting the cause. Why does hot always flow to cold? We'll never know. But it does. And the description of it doing it is entropy. The second law of thermodynamics, applicable always. Hence, it's a natural law, a law of nature. Inviolable. That description is always true. If it wasn't, it wouldn't be a law. But the law doesn't explain the cause. That's the domain of science. So if the fundies incorrectly attributed it as a scientific law, they're just incorrect in their vernacular, not understanding what science actually does. I would assume that would be Becky, who definitely hasn't got the vaguest clue what science is, given that she's a pseudoscientist who types away emails and looks at iTunes. Maybe downloads an app and claims science because she's done it on a computer.
So she's officially associated herself with conspiracy cats and who else? Simon there? The outbreak monkey.
Yeah. No, you see, they think thermodynamics is now a conspiracy theory. Well, they say our misunderstanding of thermodynamics is a conspiracy theory. They say
I see.
Not increase.
So it's not that they're saying thermodynamic laws are a conspiracy theory. It's a you don't understand ad hom. Oh, how quaint.
Wait, they gotta be famous. They've debunked natural law.
No, Neil. I think the subtlety is being lost in translation. They're saying we don't understand the natural law. The misunderstanding of the natural law is the conspiracy here.
Exactly.
Wow.
How quaint. Yeah, we don't need you to understand, Becky, that number one, natural law isn't science. Now, if you were under the apprehension that it was, let us be the first to correct you. Maybe it was Simon Dan that pointed it out to you. You two seem to have a Coriolis virus all of your own, gathering around in groups, passing along this Coriolis virus to each other. It could be very dangerous. We already know Becky's well and truly infected. She wouldn't expect to see any effects of Earth turn, right? Even though there's claimed to be a very real effect asserted by Neil deGrasse Tyson that there's 15 degrees an hour turn of the Earth underneath a football when it left the ground. But Becky thinks there's nothing to see here. Right? Coriolis virus infection. Simon Dan, no different. You and your reference frame's ruined. Again, flying in the face of Neil deGrasse Tyson. These infected, low-level ballers are flying in the face of the priesthood. Virus is getting worse. Go on.
Is their rhetoric not actually violating natural law? They are claiming that gravity holds gas pressure down. So in other words, they are claiming that gravity overcomes entropy. And that alone, we know how much humiliation that would be in the scientific world.
Well, let's just hope they throw a few eggs in Thunderfoot's basket as well. And we can laugh at all of them together. One happy idiot family that think gas go down, go boom, boom like bouncy balls in a fish tank because they have a reification of a force that's not a force. But you can think of it as a force. You can do all those things and we can laugh at you. Meanwhile, entropy definitely takes place. High pressure will always flow to low pressure. Hot will always flow to cold. Entropy is real.
Yeah, the fact that we even got some gas pressure so high up already affirms we got containment.
Can't have gas pressure
It's
without a
not real
container.
if you're a pseudoscientist.
I think that concludes the housekeeping. Not bad. 52 minutes into the live show.
Hey, you think they'll eventually come around to reality, or they're just going to keep denying?
Don't know. I don't care. I'm good.
Yeah, we sleep well at night.
Exactly. I don't lose any sleep over this, and if they do, I don't care. I will point it out. Conspiracy Cats, I shared his video a couple of times now in the last few days with him on Haunted House, projecting his pain about what would be if he was to contemplate the terrors of all the lies that you'd have to realise if you accepted that the sky is not a vacuum. Conspiracy Cats, quote, "Without the container, there can be no pressure," end quote.
Yeah, but at least you don't have to worry about asteroids hitting us. You know, they had us in a lot of fear.
Yeah.
Well, Conspiracy Cast is actually running away from me. It's maybe been 3 or 4 comments now asking me when I'm debating. And I said, sure, I'll debate you as soon as you've addressed the... Remember when he debated that other newly flat earther? And he said he would address the gas pressure without containment before the end of the show? Well, it's been, 6 months already and still hasn't addressed it. And every time I'm telling him, I will debate you, just address it first. And tumbleweed, that's all I ever get.
You want to add something cool, clown? Cool clown, can you hear us?
Oh, hi, I can speak. Okay. Hey.
Hello.
I wasn't expecting to be able to talk.
That's okay.
I just wanted to ask if you were religious, Nathan. That was it.
I know, what do you mean by religious?
Like, Christian?
No, I wouldn't call myself a Christian.
Ah, okay. Just curious.
Started the fancy one? Globe or flat?
Pretty sure I made myself pretty clear last week.
I don't know, I don't remember what was happening yesterday, mate.
Oh, yeah, globe for sure.
For sure. What about the question currently on the table then? How could the sky be a vacuum? The gas we're breathing would all fill it.
I can't hear you very well. Hang on.
How could the sky be a vacuum? They say in the globe that you say for sure. How can they have a sky vacuum? Because the gas we're breathing would fill it.
Well, can we agree, for starters, that that particles have a weight?
No, they don't.
No, we can't. Gas doesn't
Can you
have
stop
weight.
breathing in the mic? Were you Darth Vader?
Look who's talking, Neil. Back of the room, microphone, Neil.
Okay, well, let's just
I'm
ask
in
you.
a-
Okay,
I'm in a
yeah.
register.
Guys,
I'm not
Arwin,
reading
Neil,
you
bloody
fucking
hellfire.
things like Darth
Hello,
Vader.
Neil and Arwin. Thank you. How do you weigh a gas?
That's a good point. Couldn't tell you that one.
Put it in a container. So we're going to need a container then.
Yeah, I guess if you're weighing it.
Yeah, we'd agree. Without the container,
Oh,
there can
which
be no
way?
pressure or weight.
I'm just saying, because if particles have weight, then
They must have a
oxygen has
container.
weight,
So they must have a container then.
and then oxygen.
So they must have a container then. My question is, how can we have a sky vacuum, right? Because the gas would fill it. And you said, would you agree gas has got weight? And I said, well, how do you weigh it? And you've said it'd need a container. So, okay, we agree. Okay, fine. You can weigh a gas in a container. So we're going to need a container then.
Yep.
But it's asserted that the gas pressure we're breathing doesn't have that. So this has already failed on its arse. I don't need you to waffle on. We just need you to say, all right, yeah, container needed then. Well, how is the sky a vacuum?
Well, vacuums don't suck. It's pressure difference.
Pardon?
Vacuums don't suck. It's not like
Nobody
a
said they
moving-
did.
They don't suck.
Well, I didn't say they did. I said the gas pressure would fill the availability of space. It would fill the space. I didn't say vacuums suck. You need a little straw man to burn.
It's held to the wall. It's held to the earth 'cause of
Stop
its weight.
straw manning.
Sorry, are you trying to assert a concept of gravity can overcome entropy?
No, he's just not
not
answering
like
any
that.
questions and constantly moving on like a complete ball tart. That's what he's doing. And I think he's high as fuck too.
And no swearing. God, we did so well. God, Arwen, I could kill you.
Now it's just gonna have quack.
Ugh.
I'm just
Bloody
chilling in
hellfire.
bed. That's why I sound high.
Okay, whatever. With that, I'm going to say, if you are watching this on either Nathan Oakley 1980 or Nathan Oakley Premiering Stream, oh, there's been a super chat just come in. Shout out to Retro Bill, who says, quick shout out to the panel. Thank you very much for the super chat, Retro Bill. Really do appreciate the support. Thank you very much indeed. If you're watching this on either Nathan Oakley 1980 or Nathan Oakley Premiering Streams, then stay tuned, as there will be an after show to follow. Unfortunately, if you are watching this live, this is where we bid you farewell. A huge, massive, enormous thank you to both Google and Discord panels for making today's live show possible. I've been Nathan Oakley. Once again, stay tuned if you're watching on a premiering stream, and I'll see you all in the next video.